I look at it, I've always told my team, as long as they are honest and sincere to the job, and that they also make sure that whatever work that comes to you, that you have to be diligent enough to make a commitment to do your best all the time, and to no matter what. So I always tell them, if you give a commitment of a date, that you have to meet this delivery commitment, and that they must always make sure, I said, unless it's a funeral or you're in hospital, please make sure you meet your delivery deadlines and commitments, and to make sure that you don't leave room to, so I call it FCR or FTR, first time right, so that the quality that is expected is also in place, and that you don't end up disappointing whoever it is that was the recipient of your work. Doesn't have to come back to you back and forth, or be disappointed, or say this is not what we discussed, or this is not what we expected. So to meet expectations. So I think that really is what I always tell my team, and it's worked for me, it's worked for the longest time. Once you build credibility and people know you're reliable, right, then they are very comfortable and happy to work with you. I think another thing is also about building transparency through trust. If you are able to work well with your team, if you trust each other, and you know that every single human being, that everyone on the team have their strengths and their weaknesses, but your weaknesses can be someone else's strength. So if you get together as a team, you can go that much further, and you can be so much stronger in what you do together, and no one is expected to know everything and be superhuman, right? So it's just that team cohesiveness that builds strength and unity, transparency, and then there's everyone's comfortable with each other. That kind of gives you, I think, a winning formula to perform and give off your best. I think from a very early age, even when I think of back in school or anything that I've been in, whether it's a friends team, relations, your cousins, school groups, whatever, I've always, and back then I guess people say it like, like a bossy child or whatever, right? And I don't know whether it's because it comes from me being an only child. I always sort of try to take the lead. I'm always telling people, let's do this, let's do that, do this, let's go here, we'll do that, So it's from an early age, I think for always, I've got kind of this natural ability to pull people together to do things. And even from an early age, I always like to call out things which are good or things which are not right. So even as a kid, even if it was with my own cousins or friends, I'd say, no, this is not right and I want to fight for it, kind of thing. So I think it's that ability thereafter, once I got into the workplace, those natural kind of leadership skills continued, and then you keep building on it as a, and then that becomes your strength. So I would say I've always wanted to sort of be leading the pack in whatever it is that I got into and got myself into. Having said that, if something is not what I like, if something is not what I am comfortable with, and I feel that I can't give off my best, then I wouldn't get into it. I'll probably stay away from it. I'll focus on my passion, my strengths, and what I like. And I wouldn't want to be forced into or get involved in something that I think that doesn't have my heart in it. So I think I kind of answered that question in my last one. I think as you go on, so you gain confidence, and confidence, I think, comes from when other people find you credible and accept you for who you are and what you bring to the table. So when I say who I am, I don't mean who I am in terms of where you come from, or whether you're rich or poor, or your background, or education. What I mean by who I am is what I bring to the table in terms of my skills and abilities, my strengths, and what I can deliver and where I can perform, and in that sense who I am. And one of the things that I find is, when you look at that sort of who I am, it's never about a man or a woman or your age or your gender or anything else. It's just what you bring to the table, and everything else doesn't matter. And then you're equal. So you are among equals. That's, I think, how you sort of build on, being a good leader, I suppose. Good in the sense, a credible leader, I would say. So I think a couple of women inspire me in different ways. I would think Mother Teresa from a point of view of leadership without a title, and humility, and working towards a purpose from a very humanitarian point of view, where I feel, her strengths were being kind and, gathering people around and wanting to do something, no matter how small, in your corner of the world, right? But from a, more societal business success kind of view, I would think Michelle Obama is someone I admire. For all the many strengths she has. She's very strong-willed, she's very verbose, she's very vocal, and she can gather people around towards a cause and make a difference. And similarly, I think Oprah Winfrey as well. Many different female leaders, I think, inspire me in kind of many different ways. And it's not just the female leaders. I also have one or two male leaders that are a big inspiration that I look up to, especially my boss of some 20 odd years, Dr. Hans Vijayasuriya, ever since I started work at Dialogue. So I've learned much from him, and I certainly admire, and I'm guided by the many wonderful things I've been able to learn from him as well. I kind of spoke about a few of them. So first thing is, I think you need to be humble, you need to be approachable, and humility is a big thing for me. I would say trust and transparency is another huge thing for me. I like to be very direct upfront when dealing with people and situations. I don't want to sort of window dress it or sugarcoat anything. What you see is what you get, and most people appreciate that. There are lots of people who don't appreciate that and prefer everything sugar coated, and they don't want to hear it straight, even if it's unpleasant. For me, if it's unpleasant, I want to get that out of the way before anything else, because the pleasant you can deal with, but something that's more difficult, you may as well deal with that first, right? So to me, those are traits that and qualities that I admire. The other is that, like I said, keeping your promises and making sure that your work or whatever you're delivering is of high quality and standard. So that is important as well to me. And my personal passion is, I think, about doing things with people and also being able to do something to give back in any little way, which is actually the reason I even volunteer at SLASCOM. I volunteer at the Women's Chamber for Digital. I work closely also with women in management and so many different voluntary organizations, purely because I think if there is room to make an impact in whatever little way, then we need to do that. So it's also about sharing knowledge and collaborating with others to kind of bring about positivism, I would say, is what it is. So for me, travel is like a big thing in my life. In the last 20 odd years, every single month literally, I've been traveling. So for me, I really need once a month to go somewhere, right? Even if it's for a weekend, to go off on a shopping trip, to go out with my friends, to some place. And of course, I had some standard, I have a bucket list. So I tick off every year, and I plan with my friends the big holidays. go on a huge trip to the US or Europe or somewhere, and actually do the touristy thing as well, sightseeing and all that. So on my bucket list, I have quite a few countries that I missed out now because nearly get into 1.5 years. Luckily, I traveled in February. I was in Atlanta, and in March the pandemic hit, right? So up to that point I traveled, and I'm just waiting to go anywhere. But if I was allowed to, the first place I'd obviously want to go to is to see my daughter in Melbourne in Australia. Unfortunately, I know that Melbourne's not going to happen anytime soon. And so today I had someone telling me that they were going to the US. Renuka was telling me she's going to the US. So I was telling her that, oh my gosh, if they allow, I need to, I've taken both my vaccines. So I want to talk to my friends and to plan a trip out as soon as possible to go somewhere, because I'm dying to get out to, be able to do a bit of shopping and sightseeing and everything else I love about traveling.